All right. Thank you all for calling in to the conference line. This is a recorded call that will help you to learn about our back office, and a lot of questions that you have will be answered in the next 30 minutes by myself, Charles Vest, VP, and, of course, our illustrious CEO, Mr. Seth Frazier. So, Seth, are you there?
Illustrious. Wow. Quite a word. Yes, I am here, Charles. Good to be here and appreciative of the opportunity to be able to show our members some fun stuff in our back office here.
Absolutely, and I can't wait. So let's just go ahead and get right to it. We have a lot of information to cover. If you are listening to the recorded version of this, we want you to get a pen and paper out and realize that you can pause it, you can rewind it, play it over again, because this is really important information. So let's start with the fact that you can go into your back office by going to protravelplus.com, and when you go there, you already have created a username and password, and so that's how you're going to log in to your back office. And when you get there, you're going to see those great words, "You're in control," and that is so true. And so in your representative's back office, you'll see a few tabs at the top, and then you'll see a lot of tabs on the side. And that's what we're going to go over today, Seth. I'm going to go ahead and start by sharing about the personal info tab, and then we're going to just kind of go back and forth and teach people about how amazing this software is, how amazing this foundation is. And so let's start with going to personal information, which is at the top left of your website. And when you click on personal information, you'll see all of the information that you put in. Now, what's great about this is you'll be able to change your name if you like. We don't want any profanity. We want it all to be professional, but you can change your name by just hitting change on the top right side and change your name, and still be very comfortable to know that as far as your bank account and us paying you, you still will have an opportunity to have the proper name there. It's just this is your public-facing name here. And also your payment information, like I said, is right here as well. The credit card that you use, maybe somebody may have used their e-wallet to bring you in. You can change that and put your credit card information there so that we have that correct and intact. Also, as you scroll down the screen a little bit, you'll also see that if you have come in for either the 1-star or the 2-star, you'll have an opportunity to upgrade, and there'll be a little link that says upgrade, and you'll be able to click and upgrade to whatever the next levels are. You can do that, and when you do that, just keep in mind, let's say, for instance, you are a 1-star. You can upgrade, let's say, to a 3-star. When you do that, basically what's going to happen is you're going to have an additional 12 months of no pay. In other words, you're going to prepay for the next 12 months of membership. And so let's say it's 3 months into your membership and you decide to upgrade. Well, no problem. You're going to get paid for, you're going to pay for an additional 12 months of prepay and also 3-star status. So that's great. Just keep in mind that your 3-star status will take effect the next or the following month. And so that's basically the personal information side. And Seth, you want to go over the website address?
Yeah, I'll do that. I want to cover one other thing underneath the personal info portion. So, there's a big leaderboard that we have here, Charles, and we'll get to that in a bit. But what you put into the user info side in that first name and last name field is what shows up on our leaderboard. So, some people have an LLC they want to put that under. Some people want to use a different name. That's okay with us. But generally speaking, that's where you want to put that in, and that's where it's going to change on our leaderboard. So I want to make that clear.
Great job. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are putting their name and their team name right next to that on the leaderboard, which is very helpful for us to identify some of the teams that are growing in Pro Travel Plus.
Giving credit where credit is due. I love that stuff. Thank you guys very much. Doing a great job. So now under my website addresses, right now you might wonder why it says address is, because right now when you click on that link, you're going to see one landing page that gives you your personal website. This is the website you want to give to people who are joining your program with Pro Travel Plus. So it's going to say http www.discoverptp.com / and then it's going to be your username at the end of that. In the near future, we're going to have different options for you to be able to share with people. Those are going to focus on everything from replicated sites that are all about the traveler opportunity. Some are going to be all about making money with Pro Travel Plus, but each one's going to be very different. So as you target different audiences, if you're working with somebody who only wants to know about how to save money on travel, you can send them to that site. If you want to work with somebody who only wants to make money in a network marketing opportunity, you can send them to that site. Right now, the current page to enroll people is the only one listed there, but you will see more as we move forward. So that's why it says my website addresses, and there's going to be a lot more coming. Charles, you want to go on with genealogy and talk about that a little bit?
Okay, great. So let's talk about the genealogy, company momentum, and the leaderboard. Those are the next three items on the side of the screen. And so obviously everybody's going to want to know about the genealogy. And we're not going to go completely in-depth on the training. We just want to give you the basics, and then we'll be able to do more deep down dive of some of the things that you'll be able to do with the different views and whatnot. So let's just start with clicking on the genealogy, and you'll see that it defaults to a matrix view. And what that means is you'll be able to see all those that are currently after the cutoff date that are currently put into your matrix. And if they are your personals, the numbers will actually be white. If they are the result of someone else's, personals, and they happen to be in your organization from either spillover or from your personal recruiting and bringing on new personal enrollees, they will show up as black numbers. So you'll be able to hover over any one of the squares and get all the information that you need to know about a person. You'll know exactly what day that they started, even the time that they started, and their enroller number. But also you're going to see their username, and that username is going to be very valuable to you when you're doing searches in the future. So you might want to write that down. If they happen to be your personal, you'll also be able to see what level they're on and other things that are really pertinent information. But let me just share with you one quick thing about hovering over any of those boxes. There's a little tiny arrow on the right side of the numbers of their actual enroller number. There's a little white arrow that either points down or up, and at the beginning, of course, it points down. When you click on that little white arrow, it actually rebuilds the matrix from that person's point of view. So you'll be able to see how their team looks just by clicking on that arrow. It's a very helpful little tool there. It can be easily missed because it's so small. And then as you are drilling down into your organization, you can also click an up arrow to go up one level. And so that's something that a lot of people are finding out about, and it's a very, very useful area there in the default matrix. Underneath it, you'll be able to also search by username. And so if you happen to know the username or the ID number or the email of an individual, you'll be able to search. One quick note, they will not show up in your matrix until after a cutoff date. Let's say today is Wednesday and someone that you have brought on is now on your team and you have a personal enrollee. Well, if you go to the matrix view, you're not going to see them because they are right now waiting for the cutoff time, because there might be some others that are waiting in your power line to upgrade. Once that cutoff time at midnight on Friday and also midnight on Tuesday night, when those times happen, that's when they drop into your matrix and you can see where they fall, whatever the next available spot is on that. And so was that pretty good to show at least the default view? Is there anything else you want to add there, Seth, on the default matrix view?
No, I think that's great. Good job. Good job covering it.
Perfect. Excellent. There's two other views to note there. When you hit the down arrow of the default matrix view, we're gonna skip over the matrix list view. It's a little complicated, but it just kind of shows how many people are on each level, and we'll get into a deeper dive in that later. But I want to really go to the enroller tree because that's something that is very powerful, and you're going to want to know how to look at these numbers that are going to show up here on your enroller tree. So when you click on that, you're going to see it says your stats, right? It has your username. So you'll see your personal enrollees, and that's going to update once a month for you. So whatever you ended up with the last month, that's going to show there. And then in the future, we're going to have it update a little bit sooner, but it's doing month to month. But you'll be able to easily see everybody on your personal enrollees by just simply scrolling down. You'll see every single person that you have personally enrolled, and there'll be a color associated with them. If the color is orange, they came in as a 3-star. If the color is blue, they came in as a 1-star. And if the color is green, they came in as a 2-star. So it's very, very easy to see how people are enrolling in your organization as your personals. Now there's some arrows that you can click down on. If you click down on the level, you'll see that you can go all the way and show everybody in your organization, all levels, and that's very helpful too, because when you do click all, what happens is you can hit change view. So once you click all and you hit change view, you're going to see everyone and have access to every single person in your organization. I'm waiting for my page to refresh here, and here we go. It's refreshing, and now it shows every single person. And we've learned that there's actually some people that are really smart with Excel and that type of software, where they actually have figured out a way to copy the entire pages, like maybe in 6 pages of organization, they copy and paste it into Excel. They can actually kind of monitor their whole team. But that's only if you're a real Excel geek, and I'm not a geek, so I just kind of look at the numbers and can tell there. Now here's something that's really important. You're going to see on this page for your enroller tree, you're going to see personal enrolled representatives, and then underneath that, you're going to see total enroller tree representatives last month. Now, here's what that means. That means that when the month ended on the 30th or the 31st, that was how many total people came in that month. Now, the next line shows total enroller tree representatives this month. Okay, that is how many people since the first of this month that have came in. Now, don't add those two together. That is not the correct representation of your team. There's last month and there's this month. What you want to look at is how many people are on your team this month. And so the total enroller tree for your team is going to show how many are there as of this date. Like, for instance, today is the 15th, and so you'll see that there's so many people on your team on the 15th, but let's say you actually brought in a whole bunch of people on the 17th of last month. Well, they're going to show up again on the 17th as long as they have prepaid or they're doing the month-to-month. They will drop into your numbers then. So there might be some days where you have a huge spike, and you're going to want to know why there's more people on your team. Well, that's because your tree is still getting populated every day by those that have maybe prepaid for a year, and each month on a certain day, they're going to show up in your enroller tree. So just look at the current number of your total enroller tree representatives this month. There's other things that you can do there. You can change the ranks and all of that, but that's really the simplest way to look at your organization. And one of the challenges that people have seen where they've tried to add them together, don't add them together. Just look at the current month. And so we're going to skip right on over. Well, actually, if you also want to look for individuals, it says here to view your matrix, click here, or to go up one level, or to find user. Those are your buttons that you can click on for deeper dive. All those are just simply giving you a chance to actually put the enroller name in or their email, and it helps you to find out a little more information about them and how many people they have on their team and their personal enrollees. So let's move on to the next thing, which is the company momentum. Now, we all look at that and we say, wow, there's, 160,000 members, pre-enrollees, and there's, 4,500 paid members since that's placed. Now, look at the wording and just be clear on the wording. Remember, the power line is what's being represented here. And remember, the power line is really a very, very powerful marketing tool. And also, it's also very important for placement and timing. So when you look at this company momentum, this is not your momentum. This is the company momentum. And it's going to show everybody that has been a pre-enrollee. Keep in mind that there are large organizations that are looking at ProTravel Plus right now, and they are actually able to enroll a lot of people at the same time as pre-enrollees so they can tour our site. And so there can be huge jumps in numbers on the pre-enrollee side just from them, getting access to our tour and our free tour, giving their people a chance to tour our site as well. The number you want to look at is the paid members since the company power line. So you'll see a number, maybe it says 2,000 or 5,000 or whatever. That's just how many people in the total company that have came on board and actually upgraded since you came on board. That's what that number represents. Don't get confused. Don't think that that's your matrix. This is not your matrix. Your matrix is represented in the previous link. This is the company totals in the power line. So keep that in mind, and remember that is a marketing tool. You get a lot of emails and things about it, and it also shares these numbers as well. Now I'm going to go to the last part before we turn it over to Seth, and that is the leaderboard. As Seth did describe very well, is that you can, put your name or your team's name or whatever in your personal information, and that's how it's going to be displayed on the leaderboard. Our leaderboard shows the top 50 enrollers. These are not the top 50 income earners. These are the top 50 individuals that have personally enrolled the most. A lot of times you'll see a name like, what is it? It is Sheena First Family, right? Sheena First Family. Well, she at this time has personally enrolled 80 people. That's incredible, but that's all we're showing is your personal enrollees. We're not showing the growth of your team. There could be someone, let's say that in the 5th place here, I see Scott Withers. He has 58 personal enrollees, but his team might be 4 or 5 times larger than Sheena's team because of the fact that he may be growing his team and they can have their own personal enrollees. And a lot of times a person that's on the leaderboard might have 6 or 7 other people, team members, on the leaderboard as well. So just understand at this point, the leaderboard represents all of the personal enrollees that a person has. In the future, we have great ideas that have been given to us from a lot of the top leaders on how to display different information on the boards. We are absolutely considering them, but for now, it's just simply showing the top enrollers in our company. So, Seth, you can add on to that or move right on to your next topic here.
It's so awesome. Charles, you've done such a great job breaking that down. When you break down how things work, especially in the genealogy tool, it can be a little bit, scary. If you're here for the first time and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I use this? And you did a great job explaining that because it really helps everybody identify exactly what you're looking at. And one thing to remember, guys, if you're ranking forward and you're worried about how do I get there, how do I move forward, how do I make sure that I make the next rank, all that stuff, keep this in mind. Don't worry about the next rank until you get close to it. So if you're worried about how to get to, let's say, 3-star elite, which is one that everybody's reaching for right now and everybody wants that one, don't worry about it. Just work on getting to the next rank, which is all listed very clearly under the pay plan. We'll get to that in a little bit. But you did a great job of how people can dig through their genealogy and figure out who to motivate and how to achieve that next rank. So good job there. In the contact manager, guys, we have some really, really cool stuff here. One of the toughest things when you're working with a network marketing company is to be able to figure out who is on your team when it gets to be really kind of unwieldy, which is to say that, maybe you brought in 10, 15 people, who brought in 100 people, who brought in 500 people, and next thing you know, they brought in 2,000 people, and next thing you know, you're trying to figure out, wow, I have a huge team, that's awesome, but I have no idea how to get in touch with them. That's what the contact manager is for, and there's a lot of really cool stuff here that's going to make you a very powerful leader to be able to get in touch with your team, send them text messages, emails, all that kind of stuff. So when you click on Contact Manager, you have a few different options there in the search fields. You're going to have the Pro Travel Plus username, you have the email address, first name, last name, and under type, we have representatives and pre-enrollees. And it does say also preferred customer and retail customer. They're not quite active yet, but at this point in time, the two things you're going to mainly want to search for are either reps or pre-enrollees. So at this point in time, if you have reps that you want to motivate and get them on a company call and get them excited about a training call like we do every Saturday morning, cool. You can pull up all your reps and you can export that to a file. So now you've got all their email addresses. You can email everybody at once. If you have pre-enrollees who came in and took a tour and they haven't yet joined, and let's say it's near a cutoff day like we have on Tuesdays and Fridays, you want to motivate those folks to get on the call. You can take that list and export it to a file and email all those people all at once. If you want to go by status, so you've got active and inactive, you can take a look at those people and see who's inactive in your group. So you can wake up people that, let their membership slip. Maybe they forgot to pay their bill or they forgot what an exciting piece of, what an exciting company they're a part of. You can even go in and look and see, did these people make a check and they went inactive? Why would they do that? Let's wake them up. So you've got the opportunity to do that. You can look up people by source code. So and we'll talk about source codes in a minute, but essentially you can find what people came in. If you're running a campaign on Facebook or on Google or wherever it might happen to be, you can track the people by source code. You can pump that in here in our search field. You can also do, if you click on advanced search options, you're going to have some other stuff there. By rank. So you can find out who in your group is a 2-star, and you can talk to them and let them know you might be missing out on some earnings. You can upgrade quite simply to 3-star just by going through the upgrade process under personal info. If you have some 3-star elites, maybe you want to give them some special training because they've been doing some awesome stuff already. They're doing some incredible stuff with your group. You can do that by rank. Now, by country as well. So let's say you're working with a crew in the Philippines or in Malaysia or in Thailand, whatever it might happen to be, and you happen to be working with those people, but you want to send them a personalized email. Maybe you need that translated before you send it. So you grab the folks that are in, Algeria, and you export that list based on that. Now you can go and find somebody who's a translator you can grab it, type up an email, send it to somebody who will translate it for $5 or something like that, and then you can send that to your list to get them motivated to get them back to work if they've forgotten about the program. There's all kinds of great stuff this contact manager can do, and the biggest thing, the best thing about it is the export feature, which doesn't show up immediately when you're at the top portion. So as you scroll down on that list, after you click on Contact Manager, scroll down just a little bit below all the search results, and it's kind of a tiny link towards the right-hand side. Before the search results, it's going to say Export. If you don't type in anything else, if you don't look for anybody in particular, you just click on Export. It's going to ask you if you want to export that to what's called a CSV file. CSV files are easily handled by Microsoft Excel and that kind of stuff, so you can pull it up in a spreadsheet. You'll know the first name, the last name, the phone number, and the email address of the people that you want to work with. And that export button, of course, is affected by whatever you do in your search before you click on export. So if you're searching for a particular member or a particular country or whatever it might happen to be, all that stuff is going to affect what the export button does. Once you export it, those are the results you can work with moving forward. Very, very powerful feature, very exciting stuff. Now let's go on to statistics. Statistics is it's a really great way to kind of track what's happening on a day-by-day basis. You'll be able to see how many people visited your website, and of those people, how many actually upgraded to pre-enrollee, and then how many of the pre-enrollees upgraded to member. So this is a great way to track and see how well is our website doing. Is it converting for you? Is the traffic that you're sending there actually working? So this gives you some kind of a high-level overview of what's working and what's not, and a day-by-day visitation view of what's happening on your website. Source statistics is a very different thing. It's going to tell you where people are coming from and if it's working. So everybody can use this, and you can kind of type in whatever you want at the end. Kind of a fun way to be able to track what's happening with your website. So everybody in Pro Travel Plus has the website discoverptp.com. And everybody after that has a / and their username. Now at the end of that, you can add a source of your own. So it sounds difficult, but it's actually very easy. So if my username was join, so discoverptp.com / join, I could put at the very end of that question mark, and then in capital letters, source, then the equals sign, and then whatever I want to say. So I could do source equals Facebook, source equals Google, source equals email, source equals phone contacts, whatever I want to do in there. You can't use a space in it, so it has to be progressive numbers and letters, whatever it might happen to be. So let's say it was ABC 1, 2, 3. But you are the one that defines that, and then that gets defined in our back office to let you know, I sent this link out to 5,000 people. I had 20 people click it, or I had 500 people click it, or 1,000 people click it. So now you know what's working as far as advertising goes on the Internet, and as far as your methods of contacting people about Pro Travel Plus, and you'll be able to track that and see what the results were as people upgrade. So very, very exciting stuff in there. So now we're going to move on to the, let's see here. I think we're moving on to the My Earnings and Pay Plan page. And Charles, you want to talk about those two pages? We're going to skip My Enroller because that's pretty obvious. It tells you who enrolled you in the program. So you can talk about My Earnings and the Pay Plan and the current rank, and then I'll talk about the Travel Portal.
All right. Boy, we are flying along here, and if we are moving at too fast of a pace, that's exactly why we have this recorded, so you can, really dive into the areas that work best for you. And so for some of you, what Seth was just talking about on the source, you're like, boy, that sounds like rocket science to me. No problem. Trust me, there are people that are just applauding what they just heard and what they learned about not only the source, but the contact manager. And so my little little bit of advice on the contract manager is, as a leader, your team is going to learn from you and do as you do. So be careful about sending emails to your downline often, because then that's going to teach a method, teach a habit to others. And, you only want to have so many lines of communication happening. So you really want to work as a team when it comes to communicating with your team. And so now let's go over to the favorite link of mine and pretty much everyone else, which is my earnings. So if you have made some money with Pro Travel Plus, and I would assume that everyone has made something. Now keep in mind that when you come into this part of the website where it says receiving commissions, you have 3 buttons to choose from: select payment option, view the pay plan, and transfer earnings to a credit e-wallet. All 3 of those are extremely powerful. My favorite, of course, is select payment option, because right there is where you're going to tell the company how you want to get paid. And what's so special about what we have available is our systems are so clear and so rock solid that we have already paid several times, and for most people in the United States especially, they're getting paid by direct deposit. So you have 3 options. You can get paid by e-wallet, which is powered by iPayout, and that's usually the international choice, but it can also be a choice that you have if you want to have a prepaid MasterCard that you can use maybe to help other people out when they want to get started. So you just fill out your information there, and your money can be posted right in that card. Or you can do what I did and many other people. I did direct deposit. It took about 20 seconds to just simply put in my name, my checking, account type, and also my routing number and account number. That's it. Once you do that, it gets locked in the system, and make sure you put the correct numbers there. That's very important. Double check to make sure you didn't, fat finger a number or something, because those numbers have to match up perfectly for you to get paid direct deposit. And so this is also a free service that we're providing you for the U.S. members, and that's something that many companies charge $5.95, $9.95 for. We are not charging you. We are incurring the cost on our own, and we're giving you a chance to get direct deposit into your account every week and every month, and it happens. Usually, it will post the day before it goes into your account, so you'll see the money post, which I'll show you in a second, and then it usually comes into your account sometime between midnight and 5 in the morning. So, when you see it posted, make sure that, you give it a chance for it to show up in your bank account. But one thing that has been a concern, and we want to share with everybody, some banks are slower than others. So when you see your money posted, it could take up to 48 hours to have it come into your bank account. That's not on our side. That's on your bank side. So just keep that in mind. And generally, when it posts, it's going to show up in your account the next day. So you have the payment option of e-wallet, the payment option of the direct deposit, and then when you go back into the main area, you're going to actually see the money that you have actually made through commissions. Remember, we pay weekly every Thursday is when it shows up, and we also pay monthly, which is usually sometime around the first week of the month. And so let's take a look at what you're going to see here. You're going to see your weekly pays, and you'll probably see, a monthly at the bottom of the screen. So just take a look at those payments and make sure that, that you understand that we pay every week, and it shows the date that they were posted. And also, we're gonna also remind you that there's a power line payment that happened for the month of April, and that's the only payment that was done as far as a monthly payment, just the power line. So for the month of April and maybe the month of May or any other subsequent months, you're going to actually see that money show up, and it'll have the date of that money. And last thing about this area here, because everyone goes to it often, the commission payments will not post in your account unless it is $25 or more for the direct deposit, and then it's $10 for. Well, I'm sorry, I got it backwards. It's $25 if you choose iPayout, and it is $10 if you choose to be paid by direct deposit. Those are the minimums that will show up. So
and
if
Charles,
you have only,
can I jump in there for 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Awesome. So let's cover iPayout and the credit wallet and what they're for a minute, because a lot of people might be confused about what that is. So iPayout is specifically and most importantly used for, number one, people that are based internationally. So outside the U.S., if you're outside the U.S., iPayout is the only way to get paid. That's the way to do it. And there is a little bit of fee that you incur by signing up with iPayout. That does not come from us. So that's not us that passes that along. There's a $15 fee that will get you either, number one, a debit card, which most people choose. And there's actually a ton of countries where you can still get direct deposit utilizing iPayout as your method. I think it's like 55 countries or something like that. I'll look into that. I don't have it exactly in front of me. But the neat thing here is we have the ability to pay you, and we're charging you nothing. Every time we pay you money, we're not charging you. So that small charge to set up your account with iPayout comes from them, and I think that's a very reasonable number from them. I've seen a lot of companies out there charge a lot more, and they do a really, really great job paying on time, paying very quickly. So if you're international, that is your choice. One other thing that's huge for us, we have this credit wallet. It's a big opportunity for big leaders in multiple countries out there. We allow you to do a couple different things. If you earn commissions with us, you can put them in your credit wallet. What does that mean for you? That means you can actually use your credit wallet to buy in other people. So if you're a big leader in another country and you brought in $1,000, $2,000, you can have people pay you in cash and then buy a spot for them in our program. That's an awesome thing to do. Now, what about if you don't have that commission earnings in there yet? Well, we actually have a way for you to be able to wire transfer us money, and you'll see that in your back office, and I can't remember the link for that, so we'll probably come back and edit this MP3 later, Charles, but you can actually click on that link, and you can wire us money to our Wells Fargo account. And here's the neat thing. This is a lot of fun. If you wire us money over $5,000, we're going to apply an extra 5% credit to your account. So if you wire us $5,000, we're going to put $5,250 in your credit wallet that you can use to pay for other members, bring them into the program, and you get a cash bonus essentially because we don't have to worry about credit card fees and transaction fees and all that kind of stuff. Essentially, that gives you a great position as a leader if you're in another country, or even if you're in the U.S., you can do this. But when you make that deposit, we'll make sure we apply it to your credit account, and it gives you an opportunity to bring in some massive leaders. As you know, people can prepay for up to a year, so they can come into the program for about $435, prepay for the year, using that credit wallet if they choose to do that with you. So big stuff there. I wanted to cover that before you move on to the next link.
Okay, guys. In the middle of your choices, there is a pay plan. Now, I'm not going to go over the pay plan. We do it every call, but there is something I want you to know about our pay plan. It's the first thing that it talks about is your power line, and then it goes to your fast start bonuses, and then it goes coded infinity bonuses. That's something that you'll want to know more about when you get close to it. That's one of the things that Seth was talking about. Understand, how to get into the coded infinity bonuses once you are at the rank of 3-star elite. So if you aren't at 3-star elite yet, these do not apply. So right now, it's about getting to 3-star elite. Okay, it has residual income and our matrix commissions. But if you scroll all the way down, even past the matches, there's a little blue link that you can click on that says, click here to read details on rank advancement. Now, we don't talk about that in our calls, and so we would love for you to go ahead and click on that little blue area there, and you'll actually see how you can manually reach these certain ranks, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, and even 3-star elite. So, for instance, to become a 3-star elite, whether you are 1-star, 2-star, or 3-star, to become a 3-star elite, you must have a total of 500 active representatives in your enroller tree with no more than 40% of that volume coming from any one individual leg. And then it actually explains what that means. And so if you are close to having 500 enroller tree, numbers, then get together with your sponsor or contact us, and we'll let you know. If this doesn't make 100% sense to you, we're going to share it with you and really show you how easy this is. But it really is self-explanatory, and then it has a little more explanation afterwards. The 40% volume requirement means that no more than 40% of your required volume for each rank can count from any individual leg. If you have 2 people that are in your personal enrollees, then that would not be enough, because there's also a number requirement. The number is 200. So no more than 200 people can come from any one leg. So if you want to get to 500, you're going to have maybe the max of 200 from one leg, a max of 200 from another leg, and then you can maybe have 100, from 20 legs of 2 people. Or that would be 20 legs of 5 people. But just remember, there are maxes for each leg, so you want to continue to enroll. And for most people, you've enrolled 5, 10, 20, 30 people, and you have, this doesn't even apply to you because you have them spread around. This is for maybe if you only have 1 or 2 people and you get up to 500. So this is how you manually earn your way up to the next ranks. Seth, you want to add to that?
No, I think we're good. And the last thing we cover, which is really not much, the travel portal, we have an entire walkthrough on the travel portal, but I want to emphasize this. When you book travel through the portal, the one thing you want to start with is always, always, always start with the Vacation Rewards Network, because it's going to apply your discount dollars to everything that you find through there. So when you click on Vacation Rewards Network, it's going to be the first thing that shows up in your travel portal. If it's your first time using it, you're going to have to register, put in your email address, all that stuff, and it's going to apply your rewards dollars back there. And then after you do that, it's going to look maybe a little bit busy. On the left-hand side is where you want to look. It's going to say travel, local offers, gift cards, merchandise, and featured brands. That's where a lot of the fun stuff is over there. And under travel, you're going to find some condos and hotels underneath the hotels and condos link that are nowhere else to be found on the internet anywhere. We have some exclusive deals there. And anytime you book something through this network, it's going to apply your rewards dollars to drive the price down even further. Again, this whole thing is done in a different training that includes video and all that stuff. It's going to show you the whole thing. So that's about all I want to cover on that side of things. Charles, how do you want to take us home, buddy?
Well, I want to just remind on one aspect of the earnings aspect, and when you click on current rank, there is something that I want to share with you. The current rank that you are is what you were at the end of the previous month. So if you're in the month of May, then you are going to get paid on the rank that you ended with at the end of April. And then by the time May is over, you're going to get paid on that rank that whatever you qualified for in that month, you're going to get paid the following month. So that's how the current rank works. So taking it home, I think that we should just, let people know how proud we are of them and what's going on out there right now. We have so many people that are excited about being part of Pro Travel Plus, and there's more and more and more trainings that are coming. This is just a quick way to give people access to understanding the back office, but there's a lot more to come. There's a lot of different modalities that we're going to give you the training with videos and webinars and Google Hangouts and all of that jazz. But I think that we did a great job so far here of sharing the back office to folks, and I'll leave it up to the CEO to take us out.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Charles. And we definitely want to say you guys have done an incredible job in these first, we're not even a month old, but you've done an incredible job building a culture around this program. And we wanted to give you as much as we can to show you how to use this program to the best of your ability. And we appreciate so much everything that you're doing as our members to create a strong culture around a program that's going to be around for a very, very long time. So we're looking forward to giving you a lot more of these trainings as we move forward. We thank you for being a part of this one, and we will see you at the top. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.